Welcome back to the channel. So in this video we are going to take a close look, as you can see in the title, an arcade machine. I've been wanting to review this thing for a very long time, and that is what we're going to do today. So let's do a quick unboxing and just see how good or how bad it is. So I'm always searching for these, let's say, weird looking devices, but also when it comes to arcade machines, because I'm just curious how good or how bad this thing actually is. So I just want to do this live unboxing, or live, like recorded unboxing. And you can see, it doesn't go like it should be. Oh boy, it's my styrofoam nightmare, I can tell you that. Let me guess. Yep, the cheap styrofoam like always. But let's see if this thing survives the trip. Alright, so the back thing to unbox this thing is like turning around. And hoping it comes out. Come on. Yeah. Oh man, this styrofoam nightmare. Oh man, oh man, oh man. Okay, so it did got some damage with the transporting, but I'm hoping there is nothing wrong with the freaking arcade machine. Alright, so let's see. So this thing is fully made of plastic. So I'm guessing it can get some beat up in the process. Alright, be very gentle with the freaking styrofoam. Okay, so it seems to be they give me a manual here. Alright, so let's lift it and let's see what we're going to get with this one. Alright, so let's do some inspection. Okay, so this thing is already mentioned fully made of plastic, and you can already feel, or maybe can even hear that it is very thin. Just a sticker at the front that needs to be like the bezel. So I had my eyes on this thing for a very long time. And this is not like a case of I got my eyes on the price, because that's absolutely not the case here. I'm always searching for cheap devices to pick up from AliExpress, and this is one of them, called a simulator video game. I'm very glad that it didn't have any, say, damage externally, because I did see the box itself got some beatings in the process. But when looking at this device itself and looking at the decals, I get the feeling more like, oh man, what did I buy? And when you're looking at the decals, this is just actually the decals that we're going to get on the system. And this just basically explains what we're going to get. So let's first of all, this thing runs on Android. There's a 10.1 inch display. I have no idea what this 9H is for. And yeah, the 3.9 kilogram can be exactly the weight of that it is. It supports 8-bit and 16-bit, but we do have the option to add an CF card. And it says here we can even run Dreamcast and PlayStation, stuff like that. So that's something and we're going to figure out if this is going to be actually working and how good it is. So here we're going to get the control panel, and at first I was thinking, hey, it's an 8-bit layout, but nope, when you're looking at it, it's a quite weird choice. We do have the select and start over here. I was thinking, why didn't you use those like tiny buttons for over here at the top? But nope, they've chosen to put them over here. Then we're going to get the weird configuration of A, B, C, D, L and R. Such a weird thing. The button quality is your long, cheap travel buttons, and the joystick itself doesn't feel really bad, but it's again like this cheap long travel joysticks. Over here we're going to get the on off switch, then we're going to get here the back button, I'm guessing to go back in the menu, and we're going to get the volume control over there. They are not really noticeable, but then we're going to get over there like a left and right speaker. The artwork on this thing is kind of weird, and yeah, not in a good way. So I don't know if the camera picks it up, but you can see there is even some problems with the sticker itself. It's really low quality, and I think it's even damaged over here. But it has a fancy grip to take this thing with you. And over here we're going to get the micro USB for charging. Then we're going to get a USB 2.0 for connecting a controller. And of course do have the option for a CF card, but we've already seen at the front. But how good this USB device is going to be working, recognizing every controller, yeah, it's going to be a freaking nightmare. But it is based on Android. Okay, when pressing the on-off switch, it goes on. Yep, Captain Obvious mode. But this arcade called the DIY arcade. No idea why. But let's remove this freaking screen protector. Wait, before I forget, ASMR mode. But okay, so when booting up the system, I've noticed one thing. We're going to get the request that we need to enter the freaking USB thumb drive or the micro SD card. Yeah, otherwise the thing doesn't boot up. So I'm really curious how they configure this, because it is running on Android, but it doesn't boot up in any kind of a weird menu. That's it. So the firmware is on the freaking device or the SCF card. So let's take a close look at this. Oh boy, so let's take a close look at this thing. what are we going to get in here? So we're going to get ourselves the deluxe toilet paper manual, and hey, look what we found here. The firmware, that is convenient. Alright, so let's see what they're going to tell us in the manual itself. Here we're going to get some basic explanation how everything works, operation, functionality. I must give them some extra credit because they did like manage to get us at least a decent manual with some good explanation, even how to add games, stuff like that. I need to make the game folder. Did see this configuration method before, and here see like all the kind of stuff, how naughty they are. Okay, but the thing is, it's a naughty manual, a toilet paper manual, but the question remains, how good will this thing work? Do we really need this USB thumb drive, or can we just plug in this thing? 1 GB card. That's not going to be very exciting. Alright, so let's take a close look what happens when you plug in the card reader in the USB port. This is what you're going to get, and there is nothing you can do with it because nothing responds at all. They are using this freaking awful piece of software that makes no sense. For example, if I want to boot up a PlayStation 1 game, the only thing that happened, it goes straight back to the main menu. Try different format, different kind of games, doesn't matter, it doesn't boot up at all. Okay, but what happens if we're actually going to get a game booted? Yeah, it's going to be looking like shit because the display they are using is absolutely low quality. It's not an IPS, and the black is not even black because it's more like this grayish. And I even got a dead pixel somewhere. But you can hear it even like, it sounds like shit. It's really slow. Sounds like crap. Like, how can you sell something like this? Alright, so let's try a game. Even like a freaking crazy 4-second sound delay, absolutely like unforgivable if you ask me. But I don't get it, like why they messed it up like this, because it runs on Android, there are a lot of good emulators on Android, so I don't know where it basically went wrong. I tried to record also from this view angle, you can see like the image is a little bit washed out, so I will like try to put a different angle in the next game. But such a bummer, because the idea behind this thing is pretty damn awesome that you can play your games on a like Android based device. Oh yeah, double punch, double punch. Wrong button, wrong button! Oh, another thing that is quite annoying, every time you're going to pressing the back button and ask you wanna save the game? Even if it's going to be like crashing. Yeah, seriously. No, don't want to. Fuck off. Okay, so next up let's try some Game Boy Advance, and yep, they also messed this part up. It runs really slow. Slow motion. Yeah, this game is like freaking unplayable this way, but I just want to give you a quick gameplay, just to see how. I just want to see if it's going to be like bad as it can be. Yeah, it's getting really bad. And there is no point of playing this way. But here you can see this game seems to be running on normal speed. But somehow this device don't want to output the audio anymore. Like, how freaking messed up is that? Like, actually the one thing that basically works on this, like, it doesn't work anymore because my freaking audio doesn't work at all. You know, like these things like really piss me off. Maybe I'm just keep talking and it sounds kind of calm, but I just basically want to bash this thing through the window because I'm so freaking angry about stuff like this. Okay, I managed to fix the audio. So I went back to the menu, I tried like a couple of times to put it on. But the other thing is like, now we do have audio. Maximum volume. Like, the audio is again like completely messed up. But it's such a bummer because this is actually like the first game that I play on this freaking thing that actually works. Oh, that's quite brutal. This is some hiccups. Okay, so I just wanted to try another GBA game. I tried to play some NES games. A couple of them did work, but it works like shit always. Like the same results like this. It runs really slow. And I don't get it. When you're looking at the specifications, this device, it is just capable of running these games without any hassle. So something went wrong with the configuration of the emulators. But again, like, I cannot really remember there is a bad emulator that doesn't run Super NES on a freaking Android box. But this is just a waste. Okay guys, so let's take a close look at the specifications. The display is a 10.1 inch LCD display, no IPS. that has a resolution of 1024 by 600. CPU is a quad-core 1.2 GHz. Then we're having a DDR3 256 MB RAM. Yeah, absolutely, not a lot. Then we're going to get ourselves 4 GB of storage inside of the mainboard itself. Then we do again have the option to use an SD card or an option for a USB drive, and that's up to 32 GB. The support of games is like NES, Super NES, Mega Drive or Genesis, Game Boy Advance, MAME, Neo Geo, PlayStation 1 and Dreamcast, but I think most of the stuff I can't even get it to run. 2 times 4 ohms 3-watt speakers, and this device does have an internal battery that will give you around like 5 hours of gameplay, and it will load up for charge in 30 minutes. So it's quite an interesting specification, of course, loading up, and how long this thing will last depends on how the quality battery, how hard you will basically put it. And not to forget is that also when you're looking at the charger they're going to use for charging the device. They just basically used some freaking stickers over it, but I can feel some holes in here. So let's get myself a screwdriver and let's see if we can basically do a teardown with this device. Because I feel the need to do a completely teardown of this bloody thing. Okay, so let's see what happens if we're going to try to put a screwdriver in. Ah, there we have. So that's basically the first part that we can remove. And there are a couple of more screws that I felt over here. I think here it is, another one. And I don't care about the freaking stickers because they are like hideous as it can be. And here I found another one. And let's see what we can do now. Can we move something, or is it something we can do? Because that's basically the only 3 screws that I found in here. And we found a couple of more screws in here. So yeah, we're going to ruin the artwork. Or can you ruin like artwork that's already like ruined? Alright, so I don't know what's going to be like, how we can basically tear down this. I know like maybe these are only support screws and I did it all for nothing. But I need to stomp somewhere because to be honest, I really don't know where to find some other screw holes. I only found a couple of them here. The downside to the situation is that I need to remove the full sticker set. And there are some screws that hold us this freaking thing to place. And here you can see, there we're going to find our lost screws to get this freaking thing apart. Oh, I need to do it! I need to do it now! And I love to do these teardowns, but I'm also trying to find a way to get this thing fixed. Maybe there is an option to get, let's say, a pie inside, or we can assemble a freaking Pandora's box so we can get this thing to work again, because this is just a piece of crap. Okay, so there were a lot of screws in this freaking thing. I'm happy that I removed the sticker, otherwise there was no way of basically finding everything. Here we're going to get the main board itself. Okay, so the way how they made this is quite interesting in my opinion. So let's start with the main board, because this is basically where all the magic happens. Like, all the magic, because everything has been connected to this freaking thing. Okay guys, so when you're looking at the main board and everything that basically like gets this thing running, it's a way I've never seen this before. Like, this is basically like they hooked up everything to this freaking device. To begin with, here we're going to get the cable for the power adapter. Here to go the ribbon cable to the monitor itself. It's a flat cable. But that's a little bit of a bummer. I was hoping for it was using some like kind of an internal VGA cable or HDMI. Yeah, this is going to be quite tricky to get, let's say, something else working here, or I need to find a converter cable for this LCD. I will look into that later on. And here we're going to get the ATM 6000 or 7051, and this kind of chip, I have seen it before in really old clones, like these cheap emulation boxes, not the Super Console X, but the ones that you have seen, like the weird clones, that the non-branded ones. Okay, so when you're looking at all the other cables, these are for the speakers itself. Here we're going to get for the left and right speaker. Then we're going to get the cable that goes over there, and if you can see it, it goes all the way to the control panel. Then you can basically go back to the menu, and let's see what we're going to get more. And this is basically the cable that goes to the encoder board, because that one is included over there, and that controls everything, the joystick, and connects the buttons. The buttons can be removed, what you can see over here, so that's pretty damn awesome. So if you want to upgrade, you can do that. But let's take a close look at the casing itself. It's a combination of wood, even more wood than I thought. I was only like thinking that was the bottom plate, but no, it's absolutely like the back part, or the bottom plate and the back part. And the front of it and the marquee is made out of plastic. A little bit of rubber, there's nothing light up, it's just basic construction how they made it. Like when you're looking at the inside, how they assembled the LCD display. And it makes me wonder, like, should I like get another one, or is there like a PCB that I can get, or a conversion kit? So kind of use this freaking ribbon cable and get this to work within Pandora's box. Because when it comes to the controls, you can see like you can switch out the buttons fairly easy. Not going to need it, to be honest. Maybe I can switch out to Senwa parts and like get myself like in cable 3, so I can hook up like the controls and do some soldering, being creative and get everything to work. Because I think it would be pretty cool if you slap like a Pandora's box inside of this machine, or maybe in Pi, but I think a Pandora's box is so much easier to do. And yeah, just have some fun with it. But it's something we're going to do maybe in the future. The idea behind having an Android box inside an arcade machine and like slapping some software on it, you can add your own games, that's pretty cool. But it doesn't work at all, and the way how they configured it makes no sense whatsoever. Besides that, the hideous artwork, like they did a lousy job when it comes to putting some sticker on it. By the way, this thing, I thought it was fully made of plastic, but there are some wooden panels in it. At the bottom you can see there are some wooden panels. And yeah, that's basically what we're going to get. And they want to make it clear, it's made in China. This is just a great example how bad a freaking product can be. And I'm not talking about the controls for once, because most of the time I'm just bitching about the controls, but that's not the case over here. The Simulator video game. And this is one of those reasons why I make reviews. Just to check out how good or how really bad it is. And this is one of those products that you really need to avoid. Maybe this thing can be like a cool DIY product for yourself, ripping it apart, slapping a Pandora's box or Raspberry Pi in it. But let's be honest, if you need to pay a lot of money, I think it's a waste. Especially if you just want to, let's say, grab something from, let's say, AliExpress. You just want to slap some files in it, play some games, or maybe like ready to go. This is something that's absolutely disappointing. Well, thank you for watching. Consider subscribing, hit that little bell, become one of the Wicked family, and I will see you in the next video.